Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Kathy and Shania. I'm your host, Kathy, and I'm excited to have you join us today for an exciting episode titled Family Affairs. This episode is brought to you by C1 Production. With me today, I have my panelist, my co host, Shania, will not be joining today. We have Jenny and Joash. How are you today?
Hey, hey Kathy. Hi Jenny.
Okay. Uh, they will be joining me to explore today's topic and share their unique perspectives. So, today's topic is touchy and it's all about family and, the sacrifices, love, and, like it's all about love, sacrifice, and also balancing between marriage and caregiving. So let's dive in, and I'm going to ask Jenny this question. Okay. So what are the societal expectations in your country regarding the care of elderly or ailing parents? You can give your
Mm,
opinion according
nice.
to your country. The floor is yours, Jenny.
Since yeah, in our culture, like extended families are very important to us. So
Mm-hmm.
um, whenever even if you're already married, like you're still kind of expected to help out. If one of the parents would get sick and would like be confined in a hospital, somehow you are expected to help out in any means you can. And based also from my personal experience, um, I was the one taking who took care of my father when he was in and out of the hospital for a long time before he passed away. But that was even before I got married, because my two other siblings are already married, so they have their own families back then. But still, they did help out in like um, taking care of him in the hospital. We kind of did shifts in taking care of our father. So that's it for me.
Yeah.
So, okay, if your, let's say your husband's family can come and live with you at your house.
That's your question.
Yeah, I mean, can your husband's family, his parents, let's say they are sick, can they come to live with you and you help him take care of them?
Um, yeah, Josh, can you share some insights for this one?
Yeah, in the family in the Philippines, depending on the case, like if the parents are in need of help physically, support physically, they could surely live in the house of the couple. But if for no other reason, instead of sickness or financial instability, I don't think that would be something acceptable. So it depends on the situation, Kathy.
Okay, here in Kenya is different. Uh, you they might be taken to a nursing home because taking care
Mm,
of a sick person, and then let's say you have kids who are like, small kids. It's a
mm-hmm.
it's a huge responsibility. So here in Kenya it's different.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mothers from both sides cannot live. They cannot come to live in their sons' houses or daughters' houses. For them, it's not acceptable. That's it. That's the situation here in Kenya. So that's why I asked, like, you in Philippines, what is your like story? What's your scenario there? But Jenny said you can. That's a normal thing. But in Kenya, it's not a normal thing. So,
So what
Joash,
do
I
you do
didn't
in
come to you.
that case?
Sorry.
Yeah.
So what do you do in that case, Kathy, if you're not able to, it's not acceptable to let your parents in your house if they are sick? What do
Okay,
you do with them? Like how do you,
they take them to the nursing homes to
oh,
Mm.
get the care. Like
because here,
they take them there to get the care.
House for the aged.
Yeah.
like in
Mm.
the Philippines, like we do also have nursing homes, but then if you like put your parents in there, like kind of frowned upon. Like you're a bad child. You're like like you don't love your parents if you're just gonna send them in the nursing home. So yeah, right, Josh? What do you think?
Yeah, I think from that perspective is from different societies. You're
Mm-mm,
afraid
mm-mm.
if you take your parent to a nursing home, you're afraid like the community around you is going to judge you and tell you, you're a bad daughter, you're a bad son
Yeah.
because you can't take care of your mother, you can't take care of your
Mm.
father. But sometimes situation can make you take that decision. It's not easy. You can just abandon your parents and just leave them somewhere. You're not going to see them every day. But I know people have their reasons why they do that. Others may may be out of hate. Others may be, I cannot do this. I need help. So I think it
Mhm.
depends with people how they view that scenario. So Joash, I'm coming to you next. How do you
Sure,
think
sure.
cultural differences impact couples when it comes to caring for their in-laws? You're married, so share your you can share your story or
The couples when it comes to caring for in-laws. Yeah. So again, no, there's cultural differences. Um, but for couples when it comes to caring for in-laws, I think it's something that a couple should talk about and agree on, since they're now a startup family. They're starting their own values. They have to consider culture but not be shaped by it. So I think if the culture is against that, but if their conviction goes for caring for their in-laws, I think that should be fine. So they have to agree on it before they do it. But they have to agree and communicate about it first and not demand from each other.
okay. I see in Indian community where they
Mm-hmm.
they live they love, I think, an extended family. They live together in the same house. Does that happen there in Europe, in Philippines?
Oh, so the in-laws are all in the same house. Two
And
in-laws or just one of the parents of.
they can live both. I see that happens in
Yeah,
India.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But that, I think in the Philippines that could be chaotic, but
Yeah,
most people also consider doing that for financial reasons, they say. Like the house of the
Wow.
parents,
That's interesting.
after
That
having having after having one of their kids get married, they would just tell them to stay in their house of origin.
that's right.
Yeah,
Like I haven't
true.
encountered any case wherein both the couple's parents are staying in one house. Like that would be chaotic, as Josh mentioned. Like it's just one
wow.
like it's either the side of
Here in
the husband or the wife. Like it's either parent.
Okay.
For
Here in
financial
Kenya
reasons.
things are this. Here in Kenya, things are totally different because you can find that. You can find like
Mm-hmm.
uh, the in-laws coming to stay with their sons and daughters. That might bring conflicts in the house, so they tend to avoid that a lot. I can even give an example of a family that lives with their in-laws in the same house. It's totally different, but you have to appreciate all the cultures out there. Sorry, are you saying something, Jenny? Okay, so today we bring you a story that explored the delicate balance between love, family, and unexpected challenges. Joining us, we have these two couples who are facing like a test in their marriage, Desmond and Ika. And this the story we will take a turn in the middle. So let's listen up and uh, just let's picture this scenario. Then I'll come. I'll ask you some questions, and you have to share your unique perspective on this. Desmond and Ika have been happily married for 3 years, and their bond is strong despite the usual ups and downs. Their son Mark is a 1 year old, and they are planning on having more children. However, their lives take an unexpected turn when Desmond's mother, Anne, is diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. Facing this challenge without other family members to help. So we have Desmond, Ika, and Anne, who is Desmond's mother. Desmond decides to bring Anne to live with them during her cancer treatment. The problem is that Anne is not fond of Ika. She disapproves of their marriage, believing Ika stole her son away, as he rarely visited her after getting married. Ika was hesitant at first to let Anne stay in their house due to past issues, but out of sympathy, she agreed to let her move in because of her illness. Initially, things seemed fine, but then Anne started complaining about Ika's cooking and claimed she wasn't caring for Mark properly. She even took over some of Ika's tasks. When Ika tried talking to Anne about it, Anne got upset and threw tantrums, leaving Ika feeling stressed. As Desmond noticed the growing tension between his wife and mom, he began questioning the strength of their marriage. This led to a big fight and Ika feeling overwhelmed. She asked Desmond to take his mom back home and hire a nurse. Desmond torn in between his love for his ailing mom and his commitment to his wife. Face, faces He faced a tough decision. He does not want his mom to feel abandoned, but Ika is so upset that she threatens to live with Mark if things don't change. So Joash, who do you think is in the
Mm-hmm.
wrong in the whole situation?
Mm. I think the loyalty now changes when two people enter marriage, but we don't cut ties with our family of origin, especially from our parents. So I think Desmond should consider what Ika is trying to suggest to hire a
You mean
nurse
Desmond?
that will take care of his mom. Desmond, yeah, I mean Desmond.
So who is in the wrong? Anne, who's Desmond's mama, uh, Ika, who's Desmond's wife, or Desmond? Between Anne and Ika, who's in the wrong? Mother-in-law and daughter-in-law.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard to pinpoint, right? But in my perspective, I think Desmond should step up and lead both the people. So again, Desmond must make Ika feel that they're one and that she is now he she's now his priority. But of course, to respect and to honor, maybe there will be some ways to take care of the mom without having the two uh, live in the same roof, if that's the kind of situation that they find themselves in, always having in conflict. So
Wow.
yeah.
What would you do in this situation? Because yeah, it's a tough situation
So
to.
if I was Desmond,
Mm-hmm, yeah.
yeah, if I was Desmond and my mom is having conflict with my wife, I think I should be the one to talk to my mom, since that is my blood relative. So as not to put on the spot my wife, who just got into a relationship with my mom as an in-law because of our marriage. So since she is my direct relative, I'd be the one to give her feedback. But if because that's our house, uh, they are the we are the leaders. If I was Desmond, we are the final say in what goes on in the house. But if my mom is not willing, to submit and to, I would really hire someone to look after her.
Okay. I consider stage 3 breast cancer like a terminal illness. Do you think Anne should like give uh, should like just assume, maybe she is sick, she should spend her maybe her last days in our house, despite having all the challenges. So in your case, Anne is the mother-in-law is the one who is in the wrong, right?
Yeah, because if she will not adjust, and that's hard to adjust for older people, right? But I would tell her about the feedback, about the way she would speak and comment about my wife. I would tell her to just be a little bit kinder and not harsh. So as I would step up to protect my wife in that.
Wow, that's a man right there. Jenny, who do you think is in the wrong?
Yeah. So yeah, for me, like this is a very complex family situation. So I think um there isn't necessarily a straightforward answer regarding who is in the wrong, because we have to validate each individual's like emotions and concerns. So for Anne, I think it's Anne's resentment towards Ika is understandable, like given her perception that like her son was taken away from her. But I think her behavior and attitude towards Ika's efforts are not acceptable, because like Ika is the one like who agreed to have Anne stay despite their past issues, and she's the one that's also displaying empathy and care. But I think she feels a little overwhelmed and stressed due to Anne's behavior. So yeah, so Desmond is the one that's put on the spot here, I guess, because he's torn between his commitment to his wife and his responsibility towards his sick mother. So I guess Desmond needs to like have a serious conversation with both his mother and his wife. So but he should also consider his mother's needs, and at the same time prioritize his wife's well-being and the harmony of their marriage. So that's what I think.
Okay, I know Desmond is trying, but in this case, I see the mother trying to make Desmond choose her or his wife, because we can see as Anne moved in, she began criticizing Ika's cooking skills and parenting skills, even taking over some of her responsibilities despite her being sick. So if it was you, Jenny, in that situation, you are Ika, you're the wife. What would be your reaction? How would you feel? Because you know you're trying to love the mother-in-law here. How
Yeah,
would
I
you
know. I
feel?
understand. Of course, I would feel bad about it and, irritated at the same time. But the empathy towards the mother would, surface more. Your emotions being the wife of the son whose mother is ill would prevail, I guess. So even though I am quite annoyed at what she does, how do you call this? Um, like um, getting in the way of how I am doing the things that I do in the household. I would still prevent myself from like uh, blurting out hurtful words towards her, I guess, and just keep my peace, just not to steer any kind of argument.
You're a nice person then, Jenny. My younger
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would
issues
be
would never.
tough. That would be tough.
Okay.
Like we do have
So
this thing called monsters, so so you have to deal with them every time.
I would be so furious of the whole situation if
Yeah.
someone comes and tells me you don't know how to raise your kid, you don't know how to cook for your
Yeah,
husband. I would be very
autistic.
furious. I don't know if I would be even. I don't know if I would be able to forgive them. But it would take time to come to terms to what she said. She is ill, but she had to mind whatever she is saying, even if she's my mother-in-law. She has to consider that
Even if
this
she's
is
sick.
another home. Yeah, she has to consider that this is another family. She is part of that family, but she has to consider his son, not like just respect, like have that respect for the wife. But we can see from the story they have been having issues with the wife for in the past. So I think that they
Mm.
still have that bitterness between them, and it's giving Desmond had time to choose between his wife and his mother. So Joash, I have
But
this. Sorry, Jenny, go ahead.
if I'm in Ika's shoes, yeah, if I'm in Ika's shoes, I would go to my husband and discuss the issues with him. So he should be the one
Yeah.
telling his mother about it.
Top.
Not
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won't be that bad person.
Yes.
He should deal with
Exactly.
his own mother.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I get you, Jenny. What you're saying. You're saying if you have an issue with the mother-in-law, you're going to tell your husband. What if your husband is not
Yeah,
willing to take a step? What then? What will transpire
he's
after
not
that?
what he's not willing to what to. He
He's not
should.
willing
To
to
talk.
say,
Yeah, he should.
this is his
He should.
mother.
Otherwise, I'm the
Don't
one.
forget that.
Yeah, he should also consider the
So,
wife's feelings as well because they're the one who's starting a family of their own, and the mother's like, I don't want to sound bad, but she'd be like, she has a stage 3 cancer. We don't know if she's gonna get well in the future. She'd be gone in a couple of months.
uh,
So
wow, Jenny.
don't make your wife don't make your wife's life miserable at the same time because if the wife storms out of the house, be left with no one if your mother also goes as well. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, me too. So, this is a general question. So, in your country, does the government pay for the nursing home, or does the government pay for the people to take care of the elderly or the terminally sick people? Does the government cover that?
I don't think so. Like, we have a social security program, but the nursing homes are private institutions. That's what I think.
I guess we
The
have
home
like
for the aged, right?
we also have some it's
Government, like,
not government owned or what, but uh I think non-government organizations is what they're called. Like they're
okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
managing the nursing homes and they just
Mm,
rely on donations.
okay, yeah, non-profit orgs.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know of any.
in some countries the
How about
government they
in
pay.
Kenya?
Yeah, here in Kenya we have nursing homes. Some of them are owned by people, that's private organization, and some of them are owned by the government, but the government ones are too much crowded because it's free,
Mm,
and free things have a lot of following.
mm,
So you might take your sick person there and they might not get the care you need them to get because there are too much people, and the staff that is working, there are few, so they are not able to manage each they are not able to attend to each and every person who is present. So sometimes it might take time to take care of the sick person. So if I was in that situation where I have to take care of a sick person, they can't do anything on their own, and maybe it will bring some problems in my marriage. I would rather like employ a nurse and stay with them at home and take care of them rather than bringing them to my house. That in that
I see.
situation it will bring.
Mm,
And do you know, like the sick people, when the person is sick, is too demanding.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, irritated and
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, demanding.
if
Yeah.
if maybe they are watching a TV show and they want you to pass the remote, and you don't do it that second, they get irritated. I've been that situation where I have to had to take care of a sick person, and it's draining because each and every minute you have to be there, or that, and if you don't, they're going to get angry at you, and you can't do anything about that. So this is a tough decision to make. Okay, I'm coming to you,
You know,
Joash.
I have yeah.
Okay, go
Mm-hmm.
ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead, Jenny.
No, like I have a story to tell. Like
Okay,
like I
go
mentioned
ahead.
earlier, we're a brood of three. So my brother and sister are all married. So I'm the only one left with my father. I'm the youngest. Um, so like the burden to take care of him was on me. And then like they just visit if they want to. And there was this one time that like I'm the one giving my father medications for his diabetes, and like I kind of overdosed in one of his
Oh
med.
no.
So so we had to rush him to the hospital, and they were like blaming me for that. Like, where are you when I needed you? Like, I'm the
Mhm.
only one here, and I'm like in like just studying in college. So I don't know anything. Like, I don't know much about like taking care of a parent like that. So I'm all alone taking care of him. So why would you even blame me? You should have been here for him. Like you're the eldest. Like you're much older than me. So yeah, you should have helped me out like that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
get. You are not married by then, right?
yeah. And even when he died in the hospital, like I was the only one who was there. And then my brother, who's afraid of like I don't know, he has a trauma attending funerals, and he's afraid
Oh,
of
really?
looking at
Mm,
dead people. Like
dead people.
yeah, like he wasn't even ready to face, or I mean, to see the, you know, to see my dad in the coffin. So I was the one who prepared what clothes he should wear, like how the funeral house would pick him up from the hospital. I did all of those. Like I was the one watching him being like prepared in the how what do you call that in the funeral parlor. He was his
Wow.
body was being prepared. Yeah, I was watching.
That was brave. That was
Embalming.
brave.
I was watching him being involved, like all of it. Like they have viewing window for that, and I wasn't. Yeah,
Yeah, that's very brave,
so that's
Jenny.
it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, she did. That was very brave. Even if maybe sometimes you are
Yeah,
feeling overwhelmed, in some families,
yeah.
you can see like
Mm-hmm.
it's only that one person who is like volunteering to take care of their sick parents.
Yeah.
You might find like
Yeah, I
ha-
noticed that. No.
yeah, they have maybe eight siblings, but only one of them that volunteers to take care of the sick. And when you do it wrongly, they will come accusing you. You did it wrong, but where were they when you are struggling
Mm,
with
very
sleepless
unfortunate.
nights and everything?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
Mostly it's
Jenny
the
did it.
unmarried child who does.
Sorry, that
All
was
the
very
married
brave,
ones are
Jenny.
busy with. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, Joash, I'm coming to you first. How can couples find a balance between honoring cultural traditions and establishing their own family dynamics?
Family dynamics of their own, honoring culture. I think we should be both honoring and honest about who we are and the new dynamics that we want to build. So we could take some of the culture's best practices and modify it to the ones that we want to continue. I have an illustration for this. It's like traveling. So when you're traveling, diba, you have clothes, certain clothes, and you pack it up in a suitcase. Now, um, I think that's when two people get married. They need to sort out the things that they don't want to be on their journey moving forward. So I think the couple starting their own family dynamics, they need to agree on their own values and acknowledge and honor their family cultures and decide which one of those they are comfortable of taking with them in their next phase, in their next journey, in the next generation. So I think it the couple should really sit down on it. There's a tension between not taking all of it and taking some of it but not all of it, of all those culture that they are bringing into the new family dynamics. So there's a lot of work to do,
Yeah.
but it could be done.
Uh,
Right.
okay. Some things you can change. Let's say your culture says you have to stay with all of your family in the house, and you married your wife from a different culture where they maybe they don't practice that. So it's going to strike a big tension because you're trying to follow your culture, and maybe she says no, you can't do that, it's wrong. So that's going to be a delicate thing to do because you don't want to abandon your culture or your parents because your wife said so. I think you have some tough decision to make. You can't change everything, but you can try to live up with some of them, maybe if it's possible. Anyways, Jenny, what do you think about that? How can couples find a balance between honoring cultural traditions and establishing their own family dynamics?
I think It's very important to like strike a balance between the cultural traditions when you're like establishing your own family dynamics, because it would require like a lot of open communication and also compromise and respect for each other's,
Yeah.
backgrounds and beliefs. So really, the family needs to like open to all discussions about it, and they can probably seek help from like outside influences like family counselors or a mediator, because that could also be beneficial.
Okay, okay, got you. Well, all families are different. So Joash, is it fair for for Anne to hold resentment towards Ika, and how much influence should in-laws have on their married couple's life? How do you think? How much should in-laws be involved in their sons or daughters' marriage? Anyone can answer that.
Yeah. I think the influence that they have is to the point that we allow them to impact our family. So if that's my mom, I'm going to gently and carefully confront her and tell her, I love you, I hear you, but we're already starting our own. And we thank you for the feedback, but this is what we talked about. So, yeah, I would, you know, carefully confront CC.
that's
I would
that's
say
Is she
do that.
going to take that?
Yeah, takes some skills.
Wow. You might be even bribe them to maybe you cook them something, their favorite dish, and try to sweet talk them.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, something like that. Or bring them to a buffet first, eat and then
and
tell your
slowly
piece. Say
get
your
them in the
piece.
conversation.
That's interesting, Josh. Okay, what about you, Jenny? What do you think? How much should in-laws be involved in their daughters' or sons' marriages?
Yeah, okay. So, firstly, as a parent, like, you're the one who's responsible for your children. Like, you can impose while they haven't reached adulthood yet. But once they become adults, you're not. I don't think you should be imposing anymore. Like, you should you should just be there to guide them in their own decisions. Like, let them stand on their own feet. Because you will not be around forever. So they have to be able to uh, um, um, decide on their own, I guess. And so I think it's natural for Anne to have those feelings of resentment, but I think it's not fair for her to like impose her opinion and disregard Ika's efforts, especially with regards to parenting and household matters, because she's also a mother herself. She's been in that situation where she had to deal with her own in-laws. So, yeah. So in-laws should respect the boundaries and the dynamics of their children's marriages. But their advice and opinions can be considered, yeah, if given like respectfully and in a supportive manner. Like,
Uh, you know, uh,
just advice
yeah,
goes.
yeah. Uh, when you are a parent, you don't want your kids maybe to grow up that very fast and start making their decisions. So like you just want
Yeah.
to get involved in every step of the way, and you forget that they are already grown up and they can make their own decisions. So like letting go of that, I think it's kind of hard for parents, right? Jenny, you can tell you are a parent.
Yeah,
Then Josh, can tell that, right?
yeah, yes, right, correct.
Okay. Do you think it's fair for one spouse to prioritize their immediate family over the demands of extended family? Mr. Jane, Miss Jane, Mrs. Jenny, sorry, and Josh. Is it fair for one spouse to prioritize their immediate family over the demands of extended family? Anyone can answer that.
Yeah, for me, it is priority
Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
prioritize your immediate family
Same.
because you're building your own family over the
Same.
demands of your extended family. And I think you should be able to let them understand that this is my priority now, you know, and you can help
Yeah.
out as much as you can, but I don't think they should demand anything more than what you can give them because they're the first ones who should be able to understand the situation.
Okay, got you.
Exactly.
What do you think about this, Josh?
Yeah, I have the same sentiment. Yeah. Immediate is important. You're now starting your own, and you should stand, loyal to your first uh, priority, which is now your spouse. So, yeah, we honor them, but at the end of the day, it's still our family that goes first. Yeah.
Isn't there like something in the Bible about that? Asking
Yeah,
them.
I think I
Yeah,
I
there
don't know
is.
what verse it is, but I have heard of it. Who knows the verse? Josh, you want to
Can you
preach?
Yeah,
share
it's in it.
something,
I don't know the
May
verse,
I? Could
but
I?
yeah,
Is it allowed?
please?
Yeah, there is. There is.
there
Yeah,
is.
yeah, but it's for
Yeah.
Christian believers. Yeah, there is in First Timothy.
Uh huh.
So
I think Aaron
there's
mentioned that in one of the podcast.
yeah,
I couldn't remember the exact uh
mm,
sure for that.
I think it
yeah, but
says with
it's really
married.
more of
Yeah,
Like
I
building
don't
yeah,
your own
remember
don't
the exact
kingdom.
verse.
Something
Yeah, but when you marry, your wife becomes your priority.
uh-huh.
You don't
yeah.
even have to think
Something
about
along
it.
those.
That's actually yeah, that's actually the design in Genesis, right? The leaving and cleaving principle. So you leave your family of origin, you cleave to your own, and you provide for your own. Yeah, so in Genesis, yeah, 2:14, a man shall leave his father and mother and be united to his wife. So that's the cleaving part.
Got
So yeah, that's it. It's a Genesis principle. Yeah.
okay.
But then there's a yeah, but then there's a tension in First Timothy that tells us we should also care for our family of origin. If anyone fails to provide for his own, especially for his own family. But the context is again the current immediate family, and the family of origins only next, because that's already the one that uh the couple should be concerned about.
Okay.
Their marriage and their kids.
I came across a certain video where these two couples. They are married. They live in the city, but his mother and his two siblings live in the village together with their mother. Now it came time to visit. The siblings and the mother did not inform the wife that they are coming to visit her in her house. So they just appeared from nowhere with no calls, nothing, and they are demanding to go inside the house, cook, and everything. It's like they are taking over the house, and the husband is left. in the middle because he can't shout at his mother, and he can shout at his siblings, and he can shout at his wife. So he's like the situation was like messed up. The husband does not know, does not, it's like in our context, in Desmond's situation, the husband is not able to communicate, because if he tries to tell his wife this and this, his wife will come and say, your mother is wrong, your siblings are wrong. And when the mother and the siblings can talk with their sister and his son, they will be like, "Your wife is in the wrong." So I don't know how they resolved the situation, but it was messed up, like here in Desmond's story, because it also like resorted to fight. It was heartbreaking to see that the husband had no say. He was not there to defend his wife, even if the Bible tells us you have to, your wife is your priority. So in situation like this, I think it requires empathy and compromise from
Mm.
all the parties
Mm-hmm.
involved. And I don't know how you're going to get them to
Yeah.
be empathetic towards
Yep.
each other, because they resorted to fight because they hate each other. They don't want. It's like they are competing for something that is not even there. They want to go they want the son to, one of them had to side with another. So if the son wants to side with his wife, that's okay. But the mother doesn't want that. He wants his son to side with him. So you find it like it's very hard. So if the parties are not able to compromise and be empathetic towards each other, it's not beneficial to either of them. So if I was in that situation and I see they are both fighting, they don't want to listen to each other, I might just leave the house for them and then leave them to come to a decision. Then they can call me back when they are done,
Uh-huh.
because it's hectic and stressful. Because you cannot insult your mother, you cannot insult your wife. So you see, it's a
Uh-huh.
delicate balance, which I don't know what steps Desmond will take. I don't know. I think we just have to find out if he decides to stick with his mother or his wife. So is it Jenny? I have a question for you. Is issuing ultimata a fair approach when dealing with family conflicts, or are there better alternatives?
Yeah, I would also resort to ultimatum. That's the only way to like resolve conflict. Because um, just be just being a mother myself, when it comes to my children, like I issue an ultimatum when they cannot settle their disputes between themselves. So I say to myself, like, okay, I'm out of here. I'll let you handle this conflict on your own. So they should be able to practice their uh how do you call this, uh
So
compromising skills. And just like earlier I did this, like, okay, I'll let you to decide what to do. I don't want to get involved anymore. I'm done. So actually it's a good thing that they were able to resolve the situation themselves. So it's a good thing, like, you know.
yeah,
So I guess issuing an ultimatum could be a solution to that.
Yeah. Yep.
Joa, share your perspective, your unique advice. Is it an advice? What is
So yeah, again, going back to communication and setting of the boundaries. You know, if I was Desmond, I would uh, sort of communicate some house rules to my in-laws who needs help, and I would be opening our house to them, and this is the house rules. If you have any feedback, you can tell it to me. Something like that, so that there will be communication lines and there will be boundaries. And so, to be ahead of the potential conflicts
Like
that might be there, because
there's
yeah,
only
there's
one
only one queen,
person.
final say. And if you're gonna talk to our helpers, tell it to us first because we're managing them too. Something like that. So that the helpers will not be, "Oh, who's my boss?" Things
Like
like that.
that also happens like with children. Like if you are staying with your in-laws and they have different
Mm-mm.
manners in like
Rules. Yes.
disciplining the children, and like you being the parent, like the kids get confused on who is to like who to follow, like between the grandparents and the parents. So yeah, at the
Mm-mm.
onset,
Yeah.
you are staying together with your in-laws, you must be able to set the boundaries. Like when it comes to
Yes.
disciplining children, it's our
Mm-mm.
space, and this is just where you are at, like that.
Okay, for me, I think regardless, if even if you're a mother-in-law, you're their sisters, their brothers, when you go to someone's house and you don't stay there, you have to live by their rules. You don't have to change anything. You found the house, the way they live, they have their rules. You should not try and change everything, because how would you feel if you know, we do our task at a particular time and they come and do them like hours and hours later, and we like for example, in your house, maybe it's there's a way you arrange your things, maybe utensils in the kitchen and everything, and they come and just do it their own way. I will feel pissed. That would piss me off, because why are you changing how it
Yes.
took me time
Me,
to arrange
Yes.
that. So if you're in
Exactly.
someone's house, please just try and live by their rules. Don't try and change anything. It's wrong.
me as
Mm-hmm.
If
well.
you found them,
It pisses me
yeah,
off.
it does.
Like when I'm in the kitchen, like that's my turf. Like nobody comes in, nobody lingers around me when I'm doing anything.
That's your
You already mentioned that in the other episode. Yeah.
yeah. I remember now. That's
Even
your
your husband.
office. If you found the kitchen is sparkling clean, please leave it that way. I don't want any conflict
Uh-huh.
with anyone. I do that also. So if I arrange something and just someone just come out of nowhere and rearranges it, I'm pissed, and I feel like, I don't know, my anger issues just go by. Okay. It's sometimes it's heartbreaking to see families struggle, especially during a health crisis. For in our situation, I think it's important for Desmond to try and solve the issues and make decisions that going to prioritize uh, the well-being of both his wife and his ailing mother. I don't know what he will do, what he'll come up with this, how will he like solve the whole situation, but you know he has to. So, Jenny and Joash, any advice, shout out to our dearest listeners? Any advice you would love to give them, depending on our today's topic?
I'll go first again. So yeah, love and care must be in the family, but first you have to uh, know your priority, and I think the first one that should be in your list is your immediate family, your wife and your kids. And then together, as you lead that, you spill it over to your family and relatives. Yeah, that's for me.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I guess the ultimate goal would be to find a solution that like prioritizes the well-being of all the family members involved. Like you set each other's boundaries, and of course be able to maintain the integrity of the marriage, and also the immediate family member or the extended family in that case. So like what Josh mentioned, communication is still the very key to all of this. So, and also empathy and the willingness to compromise. So yeah, to resolve the challenging situation.
Okay. Guys, this is our last show this year. And I have not heard of any of my panelists
Oh,
wishing our listeners, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I've not heard that. They would love to hear you say
Yeah,
that.
Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas.
Happy
Okay.
holidays to all the listeners. Thanks for sticking.
Okay. So, to our dear listeners, this is our last show this year. We're going to resume January next year, and we're going to come up with hot topics for you. So, stay tuned. I'm gonna give a shout out to my co-host Shania, who's not with us today, and everyone in the show, my friends back at home, and family. So, as we wrap up the show, it's common for families to face challenges when dealing with serious illnesses and issues at home. But I think the key is open communication and understanding, which can be particularly difficult. It's difficult to understand each other, but
Mhm.
it's worth trying. And try to bridge the existing broken relationship with your family. And that's all for today. Merry Christmas, guys, and Happy New Year. See you
Merry Christmas and
next
Happy New
year.
Year. See you.
Goodbye, all of
See
you.
you next year. Bye bye.